How does he stack up physically against the Brazilian zombie Glaico Franca? Take a look at our tail of the tape for this feature welterweight bout on ESPN+. We've seen significant leg reaches tonight. We've seen people take away the advantage of significant leg reaches tonight. 5 inches for Sadibou Sy on those legs. Glaico Franca, will he do the same thing Larissa Pacheco did? Close the distance early, put Sy on the back. We don't even know if that's the game plan, but I'm excited to see how this one plays out. Lillian Garcia will get us started officially in the PFL Smart Game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is a battle for the #1 seed in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he is a grappler, standing at 6 feet tall, weighing in at 171 pounds. With 25 professional bouts, this veteran has an outstanding record of 20 victories and 5 defeats. Fighting out of Balneário Camboriú, Brazil, here is Glaico, the Brazilian zombie, Franca! His opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he is a kickboxer, towering at 6 feet 3, weighing in at 170 pounds. In 13 professional bouts, he has a record of 8 victories, 4 defeats, and 1 draw. Coming off the 3rd fastest stoppage in PFL history, fighting out of Stockholm, Sweden, here is the Swedish Denzel Washington, Sadibou Sy! Your referee in charge, Gasper Oliver.
Gasper Oliver wearing our ref cam goggles. 3rd man inside the cage for our feature welterweight matchup on ESPN+. And our final matchup on ESPN+. Don't forget, a lot of great action coming up after we transition to ESPN2.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Fight!
It'll be a touch of the gloves to start these welterweights. Sy in the blue shorts, Glaico Franca with the inside leg kick in the silk.
Franca already pressing, already coming forward, trying to get inside that long range.
Sy whips out a little kick to the low lead calf and a front kick tested toward the face of Glaico Franca.
Now Franca's going to have to move to his right a little bit to cut off the cage because he's just following Sy around right now, and Sy's going to be able to keep that distance that he likes.
That open stance has now caused the left leg to whip up twice to the elbow of Glaico Franca. They're blocked, but man, that's a lot of force for your forearm to take. Shots there from Franca, nice low single. Pushes Sadibou Sy against the cage. Ratchets up the arms a little bit higher. Randy, what does he have to do to finish this?
Well, he's got to make Sy move. He's being static right now. That's easy for Sy to adjust, and Sy's doing a great job with the hand control. But as soon as he makes him move in a circle there, now it becomes tougher for Sy to keep his balance. And then the change of direction, he can take him off his feet.
This transition, this situation right here is going to tell me a lot about how this fight's going to play out. Sadibou's, he's difficult to take down, but if you can get him down, you can establish a top position for a bit. Good job by Sadibou getting out of there.
High kick misses, just glances off the arm of Glaico Franca. Another inside leg kick for Sy.
Now I believe we're going to see a bit more confidence out of Sadibou in these exchanges right now because he was able to defend that takedown.
The window for Glaico Franca to clinch the #1 seed has passed in this first round.
And notice what Glaico Franca's doing. He's covering up. And in the fighter meetings, Sy told us that Franca likes to cover up like that. He puts his hands over his head. And he laughed when that happened. Why? Because as a striker, you're going to give your opponent, he's going to give Sadibou Sy opportunities to find his shots, to pick the shots that he can land. And his body's going to be exposed. And Sadibou's going to eat on that. He's going to take those opportunities.
A little slip there from Glaico Franca. He pointed toward the mat, but I think it was the decal that probably caused the adjustment in his footing. An exchange of punches there. Jab for Sadibou Sy and a right hand for Glaico Franca, and another shot. This time he's got both legs. Referee batting the hand of Sadibou Sy off the cage, and a warning not to put those fingers through and grab. It's a natural reaction, but you can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not even sure that he grabbed. His palms, he looked like he was trying to keep his palms open, but I can't say that that's a guarantee that he did not grab at the fence.
Tell you what, Randy, an impressive shot there by Glaico Franca and an impressive display of balance for Sadibou Sy to stay on his feet.
Very interesting. He shot him very, very low. He had both ankles in his hands at the same time, and Sadibou Sy had, you know, almost like a puppeteer. It was interesting how Sadibou kept his balance there.
Glaico Franca will attempt to get those hands locked, and there they are. But Sadibou shrugs him up. The action man Chris Curtis watching this welterweight bout back in the locker room.
Right now, dude, if you do a little more strikes,
we'll see him later on against our 2018 champion Magomed Karimov. Body lock here from Franca. He's committed to dragging Sadibou Sy to the ground here, Yves.
He is, but he's going to have a hard time with Sadibou using the fence as a third leg to stay upright. And Sadibou has that whizzer in, and he looks competent and confident in throwing that whizzer on, putting the pressure on Franca and not allowing him to displace his weight.
A lot of times you look at a guy who's built like Sadibou Sy, that long, super lean, very long-legged, and you maybe underestimate the physical strength. We know Franca's strong, but it looks like Sy's able to match him almost strength for strength.
Sometimes it's always about leverage, and sometimes those longer guys can get leverage that you don't realize gives them position to be in power.
Big kick whipped up there, and a nice left hand from Sadibou Sy. 30 seconds left here. Another kick glances off the forearm. That one he tried to sneak under the elbow. Sadibou Sy letting the left leg go. Low single misses there for Glaico Franca. Sadibou walks away from it. 10 seconds left here in round number one. We'll see a second round for the first time tonight in just a few moments. Back to welterweight action here on ESPN+. Yves, what did you see in the first round?
Sadibou's throwing these kicks, and he's getting more aggressive with them. Why? As a southpaw striker, you start defending those takedowns, you start to get a lot more confident, and you want to open up with your offense. And that's what we see Sadibou doing. And I guarantee you, the more he defends those takedowns, we're going to see him be a bigger fighter in there, and Franca get a little bit more timid.
Ready? Fight!
The Brazilian zombie's face showing a little bit of wear and tear here as round two begins. A lack of stoppage in round number one, by the way, opens the window for Magomed Karimov, our season one champion, to secure a number one seed tonight. Currently, he's sitting at 3. Glaico Franca gets the takedown he was looking for all first round.
That was a much better shot by Franca. Timed that perfectly, where Sadibou was against the fence.
Franca shot low, captured those ankles. Sadibou sat into the fence and got a little off balance. Second effort got that Franca takedown.
Franca's corner calling for the mount here against the cage. He moves to the mount and now rides the spinning Sadibou Sy back to the top position. Potential figure 4 on that body.
The spinning Sadibou Sy almost sounded like a carnival ride.
Yes, a little Dr. Seuss action. Franca settling into the mount here. A great place to be against a formidable striker like Sadibou Sy.
Absolutely.
Goes to work on the body, does Glaico Franca.
Sadibou needs to take both of his hands, push Glaico Franca down towards his own hips.
Ground and pound from Glaico Franca on top. A reminder of our rule set here in Professional Fighters League action: no elbows allowed at any time. With the quick turnaround for these fighters, elbows are disallowed to prevent cuts and long healing processes. Glaico Franca cannot elbow from the top.
Glaico doing a nice job of vining in, keeping those hips on top of Sadibou, making it difficult for that hip escape that Yves was trying to explain on the telestrator. You get both those hands on that bottom guy, put them on those hips, and create space. Bring those legs up under and find a way out from underneath
Franca doing a good job of posturing up and throwing some fierce strikes there from the top. It's better oftentimes, Randy, to take the time to posture and get one or two good ones rather than a bunch of peppering ones.
But to saddle in, bring your knees in, pinch those armpits and lats, and hope to find some balance there from a bucking opponent underneath you and land big shots.
And sit up higher in the chest.
We'll take a listen inside the corners. Sadibou Sy reverses position and spins out. Immediately goes to work from the top. And now it's all Sadibou Sy pouring it on from the guard of the open guard of Glaico Franca. And now from a standing position, Franca in serious trouble. He's able to dive onto those legs and stop the onslaught. Nice sprawl there from Sadibou Sy. And back to his feet he goes. Franca able to secure a body lock and step around. Excellent exchange and scramble there.
Good job by Sadibou also in pulling Franca up above his hips, getting him off his legs, getting him on the body where it's a bit easier to defend.
Especially when you're 6'3" at 170 pounds.
90 seconds to go here in round two. Sadibou Sy letting the strikes go back on his feet, and Glaico Franca will dive in an attempt to get this one back to the mat.
Franca looks to be a little weary. I wonder how much energy he spent when he was on top.
Sadibou fist lands there from Sadibou Sy.
As a middleweight last year, he did not look outsized or outmatched in strength. And coming down to welterweight, that strength is showing out right now.
Franca dogged in his pursuit of this single leg, transitioning back and forth as Sadibou spreads the legs up against the cage, trying desperately to stay on his feet. An interesting round here so far with 30 seconds left to go.
You know the Brazilian Zombie is not going to quit. We've seen some of his other fights outside of the PFL where he took a beating but came back to win third round fights. He's not going to quit. He's going to be in there the entire time. And Sadibou is a technician, man. This fight's going to be this fight is always up for grabs.
In fact, he got the name the Brazilian Zombie in a 4-round fight. It was a championship bout and he came back to win in the 4th. Round 3 ahead for us in about 60 seconds. A hotly contested welterweight matchup between our #1 seed Sadibou Sy and our #2 seed currently Glaico Franca.
Franca with a nice long double leg with a second effort to secure the takedown. Crawls into the mount position and has Sadibou Sy in a pretty bad position for a little while here in this second round. Nice ground and pound for posturing up and finding places to hit his shots.
But then, Yves, here was the reversal.
And Sadibou sat up and used an old school power reversal, showing that middleweight strength and just landing big shots from the top, not being afraid to engage Franca in his world.
Great sportsmanship, a little hug to start out round number 3, and immediately Franca secures the takedown, but a scramble from Sy. Franca's gonna have to ride that crazy wave. Sadibou Sy really doing a great job off his back right now.
Now it's going to be much harder for Sadibou to hit a similar type of escape. Now that Franca's felt that he has the power, he's going to shift his hips should they get back in that position, and Sadibou looks for the same escape.
And Yves, I hardly need to point out, because it's your favorite thing, that far side underhook. Glaico Franca has been all over it in round 2 and now in round 3.
Yeah, and Sadibou needs to get on that program. Get to that far side underhook, because he's going to need that to escape. That's his best opportunity to escape.
He's locking down the leg of Glaico Franca. Franca attempting to pass that through to secure mount position here. Randy, how does the cage come into play with the way they're spinning out here?
Well, it can be your best friend or your worst enemy, depending on how you get trapped against it. Here, if I'm Sadibou Sy, he's actually on the wrong side to use the cage to walk up and find a way back to his feet. It could also get in the way of Franca finding a good position, getting to mount or stepping over to to a submission position.
You see Franca pass there all the way to side control, made sure he put his body between Sadibou Sy and the cage.
Yeah, he definitely wants to keep Sadibou off of the fence and not able to use that as extra leverage. But Sadibou did it and still got back to his feet. But Franca's back in on a single.
It was that underhook that Sadibou was able to secure that got him up.
I know a little bit about this stuff, man.
A call for action from the referee. Good. Glaico Franca runs the pipe on that single leg. Gets Sadibou Sy back down to the mat. Workmanlike performance here in round 3 from Glaico Franca. 3 minutes left to go.
That's the thing about zombies. They keep coming forward, they keep putting pressure on you, and they just never stop.
Reaching for a darce there was Glaico Franca. Back to his feet is Sadibou Sy. Immediately, Glaico dives for the legs again. He does not want any part of a stand-up exchange here in round 3.
You remember his fight with Greg Gillespie, and he's using that same type of mentality. Just constantly wrestle, just constantly press forward, and as you're looking for these takedowns, you just refuse to quit.
Seeing 76%, 77% of this fight is taking place against the cage, and a whole lot of that has been Franca in control or in control positions.
I tell you what, we talked to him about the strategy he had coming into this fight, smothering distance, putting Sadibou Sy on his back, and he used the cage in order to stop some of those formidable strikes. When it's out in the open, Sadibou Sy's ripping those kicks and doing damage.
And if this fight continues along this, telling this story, that second round is going to be the round that decides who wins this fight.
I agree with that. And it was a flip-flop round. Went back and forth. Franca won the first half of the round, and Sadibou came back strong in the second half of that round.
Sy to the mount, excuse me, Franca to the mount. Sy finds himself in trouble again. Glaico Franca's opponent and corner calling for more. Just over 1 minute left, and Sadibou attempts to explode from the bottom again.
And there we see Franca make the adjustment that he needed.
Inside of 1 minute here in round number 3, Glaico Franca with his hands over the mouth of Sadibou Sy. That can make it frustrating, fatigue you even more from the bottom.
That's old school.
Guerrilla strikes from Glaico Franca on top. Pounding away at Sadibou Sy on the bottom. 40 seconds left. Can Sadibou survive the late onslaught from Glaico Franca? The Brazilian Zombie turns it up and gets a third round finish over Sadibou Sy.
He put the pressure on, landed the big shots from the mount. It was not allowing Sadibou Sy any room to escape.
That was a very, very smart thing, because who knows how the judges are seeing this fight.
We don't know how round 2 was judged, very close. Glaico Franca clearly winning round number 3 before that stoppage happened. Sadibou Sy clearly won round number 1 though. We hear it all the time, it's a cliche. Don't leave it in the hands of the judges. Glaico Franca listening to his corner with less than 1 minute left and going after the finish. And the second time tonight, we've seen volume strikes from a mounted or crucifix position prove to be the difference.
Yes, and this time the volume of strikes was also dangerous. Those strikes had some power on it. We see Sadibou now, some of that is fatigue, and some of that is the pounding that he was able to take. He was defending and he was still working to get out, but he had no window to escape, and Glaico Franca got himself to stoppage. Beautiful job, smart fighting at the end of the round.
Glaico Franca with the third round stoppage. 3 points for a win, 1 extra bonus point. So he'll take away 4 tonight to add to his 6. 10 points now in the welterweight standings for Glaico Franca. Randy, here's that takedown.
Nice low shot in on those legs, pulls that back leg out. Sadibou doing a nice job of scrambling, making it difficult, not conceding that takedown. And Franca just doing a nice job of being tenacious and staying there. And after both legs, hands locked, pulls them out, smothers with his hips, gets his head up right away. That's perfect execution of a nice takedown by Franca.
Just when you think you have the power structure in the welterweight division figured out, the Brazilian zombie, Glaico Franca, pounds out Swedish Denzel Washington late in a welterweight feature matchup on ESPN+. Impressive, impressive performance from the PFL newcomer. Eve, does this win make Glaico Franca the man to beat at welterweight?
Makes him a man to beat at welterweight. Magomed Karamov has still been dominant in his fights, but Franca definitely is a threat. He's someone that Magomed is going to be in the playoffs. We know Chris Curtis is going to be in the playoffs. This is definitely somebody he has to look out, everybody has to look out for. But at the same time, Glaico Franca still has to be concerned about Sadibou Sy. He's in the playoffs also, and these men can meet again. And we've seen it before, where a guy wins the fight in the regular season, but loses that fight in the playoffs.
I gotta tell you, if that rematch happens in the playoffs, I won't be sad about it. This is a matchup we were looking forward to tonight, and it absolutely delivered.
If it happens, I'm definitely going to be there.
I can hook you up with some tickets, Eve.
I appreciate it.
There's the reaction from Franca's corner. When we return, we'll get the official decision and hear at least from our winner, the Brazilian zombie. A hell of a fight between Glaico Franca and Sadibou Sy, and those are your Cageonomics final fight stats. Sadibou Sy able to outstrike and even outland Glaico Franca, much more efficient when this was on the feet. But the ground strikes of Glaico Franca proved to be the difference. Not every one of them landed, but enough landed that the referee had to stop him, or step in for the stoppage. And those dogged takedowns, just shot and re-shot, and an endless pursuit of the ability to get Sadibou Sy down to the back.
I think those takedowns, those 4 takedowns were the difference in the fight. He was able to take him out of his area of strength, was using those long levers and that long striking. And that tenacious, pit bull-like takedown was the difference.
Zombie-like almost. Lillian Garcia has the official call inside of our PFL cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, this stoppage comes officially at 4 minutes and 29 seconds into round number 3. Your winner by TKO, earning 4 points in the welterweight division, Glaico Franca.
Impressive performance by the Brazilian zombie against a very formidable striker in Sadibou Sy. Those are our welterweight standings so far. 3 more welterweight bouts left to come on ESPN2. But Glaico Franca secured 4 points with the victory tonight, adds those to his 6 from his first regular season matchup. That's good enough for 10, and at least for now, the #1 seed in our welterweight standings. Caroline Pierce is inside the cage with our winner.
Thanks, Sean. I am indeed Glaico Franca with the win in the 3rd round. Look, it looked like the game plan was the takedowns, but Sadibou Sy is not an easy man to keep down, correct?
Correct. We are very happy with that result. But Sadibou Sy was the #1. This guy is tough as hell. I respect him so much in all the welterweight division. But I'm here to stay. I love PFL.
Oh, it's great to hear. We love having you in the PFL. Look, you also said that you like the sound of that #1 spot. You're in that position right now. It will depend on what happens with the Magomed Karamov fight with Chris Curtis. How do you see that one going down later on tonight?
As I told, the welterweight division just tough guys, the best of the world. So I'm happy to be in the #1 spot, and I hope I can finish the night like that.
Well, let's talk about the finish. You said you've got that tough guy side of you. When it gets tough, you can rain on those punches, and your corner was calling for you to get the job done. You appeared to listen. Talk us through that finish.
Yeah, I have the best fighting of the world, Astra fighting. Today was with my coach, Tim Ruberg, and my brother, Guilherme. So I try to listen my coach and get the job, you know.
Well, you did. You got it done indeed. Congratulations. 4 more points for a total of 10 points on the leaderboard. Glaico Franca, congratulations. We're also going to talk now to Sadibou. Thank you, Sadibou, for being such a sport and talking to us here. Look, you still made it into the playoffs. I know it didn't go the way you wanted tonight, but talk to us about the performance.
Yeah, it didn't go as planned. To be honest, I believe I had the first 2 rounds and I was disappointed with the finish because I heard the time, 2 minutes left, 1 minute left, so I was just, if I just make this round, I'm gonna win it on points. That was so. I don't know what was the time when they stopped it.
It was pretty close to the end. I don't know the exact time, but all I would say is that last season you lost to Bruno Santos and then you came back and got the win. You got to fight him again. There's every chance you guys could meet again later this season and you get a chance to do it then.
Yeah, for sure. Like hands off, my hat off to Glaico, tremendous fighter. But I'm sure we will meet again as we both are past to the playoffs.
Well, thank you for talking to us. Best of luck with the next fight. Thanks, Sadibou.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Back to you, Sean.
Yeah. Get ready. Listen. What you wanna do? If you don't strike first, that's when they gon' come at you. Yeah. And you know it's true. Don't let your life get worse. Being timid, that ain't cool. Nah, you gotta wake up